twinsies, but I love them a red hat.
Well, people need to be able to tell us apart. Oh, hello.
Hey! Hi, it's me, Wilma Fingerdoo.
With William and Box Farts here for Canada's Drag Race Season 2, Episode 7?
Is it 7 already?
7 already.
Oh, sweet Maria.
I'm excited.
Let's see. There's a lot going on this week. But before we get started, I have an announcement. A very good supporter and friend of the Fingerdoo Review, Michael Bergantino, got bad news recently. He has to have open heart surgery at the end of December, and he lives in America.
Oh.
Quel horror.
Quel horror,
Yes. So,
indeed.
of course, most people don't go through life planning to have open heart surgery, so we often don't have that kind of money in our bank account. And Michael's faced with this issue. And so he has a fundraiser started on PayPal. I have a link for it down below. But I want to make an announcement that any tip or dues that I get for the month of December, I'm going to be sending Michael's way. So if you want to tip me, you can. Otherwise, there's a link down below directly to the PayPal page that Michael's using to do his fundraising. I think the goal is $117,000.
Oh, sweet beats. It's expensive to get a new heart in America.
But if every subscriber to the Fingerdoo Review, and that's just over 7,500,
bragging,
gave some money, I mean, we would, especially like $5, we would have $30-something thousand right there.
Yeah,
so
enough for some math left.
Christmas is a-coming. I know y'all love supporting me, and I love your support. But I do ask you at this time of the year, I've been supported. I'm good. You've all been very generous and very kind, and I could go a couple of weeks without help.
Honestly, she's had far too much support.
Yeah, she's jealous.
She's got what?
Yeah. So
Nice.
if you have an extra couple of dollars, if you feel the need to not necessarily buy yourself a $7 frappa, whatever, please consider supporting my friend Michael Bergantino in his endeavor to, not die, I guess is basically how that works.
I mean, isn't that the goal for all of us?
Yeah. You had a heart surgery this year.
I know open heart surgery. I didn't die, or I'm a very glamorous ghost.
And you live in Canada, so it cost you what, $3.50? What was parking?
It cost me $10 to buy this special soap that I had to wash my filthy body with before I went in. $10. Not even a beauty brand, just to get your cooties on.
Yeah. Well, that's a beauty brand. It's not a beautiful brand.
No.
Still, there's a level of beauty involved. Get your cuties off. So, on that note, I thank you all in advance. I also thank all of you that are considering tip or doing or have ever done, because it's the best. But if you really want to support this channel, the best thing you can do is subscribe to it and give this video a thumbs up. Now, on to the important things. Jorge, drink me! Ooh. What is this, Jorge? It's Coke and what? Coke and vodka.
Okay.
So this is a sophisticated lady. Mine is a sophisticated skinny lady because it's Coke Zero.
I don't know why Jorge thinks that just putting vodka in something makes it a special kind of drink.
He doesn't, but it's special to me.
Ooh, I got a fat lady. I like that one.
That was my drag queen name in high school. Okay, so episode 7, the roast of Brooklyn Heights. And we started this off with the queens bidding Cynthia a farewell. And it wasn't a fond farewell. It was a little hard. There was a part of me that felt that Kendall was sorry to see her go, but really happy that she was still there.
Well, I think that Kendall, the impression that I got was of the Brat Pack. I kind of got the opinion that maybe Cynthia was kind of the cream of the pack?
Yeah, like that even they thought she would be there longer than them. Yes.
And I think I did too.
I have to say, I'm not that surprised because her runway was very boring a lot of the time. And she's a good singer, but she wasn't better than anyone else in anything else. Like, she wasn't heads and shoulders above anyone else. So I really felt that just because you're showing off your clavicle.
I just like to remind myself what the body parts are every time you mention one. We get so very tight, I forget things. So the next day,
Pythia was having a little issue.
Yeah, she got a little pithy.
Yeah. Pythia felt that what Isis wore down the runway, any 5-year-old could wear. In weird porn, if you ask me.
Yeah, I don't know if at 5 years old I could have put together that outfit. Maybe it's 6. Maybe it's 6. Once I was a little more coordinated with my chains. I think it was because it was maybe a little bit closer to her ugliest sin, because she did that crocheted clown.
Yeah.
And then did something that was a bit clown inspired.
Yeah.
She definitely has a look, but Isis just did something that was a little more memorable. So what if she was just wearing underwear and chains? She wore them well.
Yeah.
It's not that Pythia wasn't bad. She was great. She just wasn't the standout of that episode.
No, and the judges have mentioned before that Pythia tends to go down that runway a little, flazé-da, not really kind of committing to one thing or another.
So we had our usual confusing video message from Rue.
Yes, well, whatever.
We had no idea what was going to
She
go.
doesn't even know what. She just thinks, show me the check, fine. And then she says it.
She doesn't know.
No.
She doesn't know, it's fine.
No.
And then Brad flounced into the workroom to let the girls know what was going to go on in the challenge that week.
Well, that first mini challenge was up, and God bless, because I felt this was another version of the reading challenge all over again. Like, it
just felt like another forgettable...
regurgitated, yeah.
Like a forgettable challenge. Like either maybe the girls weren't that... Like it wasn't that much fun when they were doing it, and they're like, I guess we'll have to use the footage we've got. Or...
Yeah. And no shade on Brad Gorski's career, but he was on Fashion Police a hot minute. Like when you think of Fashion Police, I don't think that Brad Gorski's the first person you would even think of.
Yeah.
But they were spoofing it by calling it Fashion Police. Before we get too far into this, I would like to say this was the worst episode of Drag Race. One of the reasons for this, for me, was Gia's keening through the whole thing. Every response from her was like a baby bird needing to be fed. It was just annoying. And I know it's because I'm old. That annoys me more because I'm old. But I'm okay with that. I've come to embrace it.
It does. She does feel a little bit like there's a little Laganja, Stranja thing going on.
On a bad day, yes.
On a bad day, yeah. I'm still not sure if this is the real Gia or just Gia on TV trying to make some good TV, but stop it.
My favorite part of this whole read was Kendall saying, that's very when you buy it online and it arrives. I thought that was the only line that actually made me laugh. So
Kendall made me giggle a few times. Isis made me giggle a few times.
Isis was funny a few times. Not great.
And then everyone else was just like, sort of meh.
Yeah, and I do also feel like, I know they had to give it some time, some attention, this mini challenge, but it went on far longer than it needed to.
Yeah. It was
Once we kind of realized that not a lot of these girls had anything to say, they could have cut it right there. When it was all said and done, the winner of this challenge was the only one who made me giggle, and that was Kendall Jenner. But yeah, so because she won the mini challenge, she got to pick the order for the maxi challenge, and the maxi challenge was the roast of Brooklyn Heights. Now, I just want to say, I think it's too bad that we just saw the roast on Drag UK. In fact, it seems like every challenge, we had the Drag UK Snatch Game right before we had Canada's Drag Race Snatch Game. And so there's been a kind of flip-flop there where it's, how do you not compare the two? And it also makes it very hard sometimes to remember what happened. But as is the way with the news of a roast, even though these queens know it's coming every time, no one was happy about it.
No, and I don't blame them. I mean, they've already, these are not, is there a comedy queen in the mix? Like, there isn't, is there?
No, there's no Bianca Del Rio in the girl. Like, there's nobody who's known for it.
There's some funny-ish queens, but there's no one that's like, ooh, my chance to shine. If you'd be perfect in that roast, you would fit right in with this season.
Now, some of the queens, like Gia, thought, well, they were going to do well because of who they are. They're just going to do well, period, boom. And to have that confidence again.
I don't think I've ever had that confidence.
For the most part, prepping for this challenge, I don't think any of the queens particularly had any confidence beyond, I think Isis was the only one who was really, like, in her confessional, she was, I'm going to get all these bitches.
I'm hilarious. I thought Kimura seemed to feel that she was going to do a good job as well.
Yeah.
She definitely seems to... Maybe maybe I'm just not seeing it, but the girls seem to think that Kimura is hilarious as well, and I...
Yeah, so do I. So yeah, maybe it's you. Maybe it's
Maybe
you.
it's me.
You have no sense of
Comedy
humor.
is subjective.
The queens got at least some mentoring. There was a little advising. It was Brad Gorski and...
Canada's sweetheart, Emma Hunter. Hi, Emma.
It's okay if you don't know who she is because you've seen her. That's the thing with some celebrities. We've seen a lot of them, but it's like, oh, is that their name? I didn't realize.
Well, also she likes to do impressions, so
Yeah,
maybe you saw her
yeah.
and didn't realize it was her.
Yeah.
Yeah, Emma Hunter's a hoot.
Oh, yeah.
She's a hoot.
You've definitely seen her on the Beaverton, reading the fake news.
You know,
And
the Beaverton, what's that new show? Moonshine, Moonstar,
Yeah.
Mooncrest, something.
Yeah.
She was on Mr. D.
Mr. D. So definitely a worthy person to advise the queens
Yeah.
on this.
And a
Because
ton of fun.
she's viciously funny, but she's also sweet about it. So I think that's the best way to, like, oh, I don't want to say you because you'll just get a full head.
Give me a compliment.
You're viciously sweet too.
So what did you think
Of the
girls'
rehearsal? Well, I think that there were like Kendall went out first and she did okay.
She did okay. She seemed to have some material. She
Yeah,
seemed to be...
she surprised me only because I really didn't expect anything. I expected more of what Gia barfed out of her mouth, which was just noises.
I'm just very confused by her run through because it did seem to be mostly about her.
Yeah.
I was also very confused by Adriana's
Well,
run
bless
through.
Adriana.
I'm pretty sure English is probably her third language.
If-
But she's trying to be funny in a third language.
I didn't understand it. She had references to the Whoville. and
Whovilles and...
bless Emma, because even she was like, what is going on?
Come
You know,
again?
in the sweetest way possible. I thought Isis she didn't do great, but you could see she had some ideas there. But
She had some nuggets.
she needed to edit.
She had some kernels.
Yeah.
Pythia kind of didn't really have much to say. I think she went in there thinking that she couldn't do it, and then she proved herself right.
Yeah. I
Didn't
felt
like
that
her.
Kimura went in there with enough material to kind of trim fat away and hone, but it was still very random. And I just want to point this out. Roasts are harder than just doing stand-up.
It's just finding that line between mean and funny and
that's
knowing when it's time to be on the other side of that mean and funny line. And it's supposed to be someone you love, which is why I would never think of roasting Wilma. But that's the whole thing. You're supposed to be, you're never meaner to the ones that you love.
So all in all, I thought this was a good rehearsal, and Emma, I thought, did a great job conveying that.
Well, this is some great advice for the girls.
Yeah.
And
I certainly felt that the queens should have felt more secure with what they were doing, or at least what direction they were going to take after that. So I still don't understand why it all went to hell on the day.
dear. Oh dear.
The one thing they did talk about as they got ready for the runway was what it feels like to get into drag. Like, do you empower yourself? Do you feel powerful? And again, it was one of those production questions that I think is kind of innate, because of course you do.
Yeah.
How do you feel when you get
What would
into
you
drag?
do? Well, I wouldn't put on, spend 16 hours putting all of this on to feel more insecure about
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah.
No, this is clearly a cry for help.
I thought that Pythia had a great point, being from Greece, and how being effeminate in that culture,
It's frowned upon, even with the
Yeah.
women. Have you met a Greek woman?
it was on to the runway. What did you think of Brooklyn's outfit?
That's all right. That's okay. The snake I found confusing.
It was
Maybe
odd.
just because Kimura wore one last week, and it just feels like, oh, you're going to put on a snake? I'm going to put on a snake too. I thought it was cute that it was like braided or macrame or what have you. But I really, it was just weird. It was like highlighting one boob strangely.
I wasn't a fan of this, but I will tell you, even though it was a little small, her wig, on the up-close shots, she looked gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah, those sparkly, glittery,
Yeah.
super sculpted wigs are fun.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And, the other person that I wasn't pleased with for their runway was Amanda Bruggle. Now, this was a much better wig than either of the ones she wore last week. I really liked this, and I love a curly wig, and her makeup was gorgeous. But that gathered, ruched, tufted top and skirt, we've often watched queens who've made an outfit go down the runway. Vanjie is the leader of them all, where they put so much poofiness in the bodice that it takes the
You got no
figure
shame?
away.
Yeah.
And I thought this was the case with Amanda's. I mean, now, granted, she was sitting for most of the show, but all of that poof was up here, and it was just, it looked like it was choking
I
her.
try to keep all my proof up here too.
Yeah, mine's mostly in the back.
Well, I didn't want to say.
Brad was giving us California Dreamin'. And then Emma Hunter came back to the runway, being her delicious self. She didn't overdress, she didn't underdress, she was just perfect.
We love Emma Hunter.
Yeah. Mwah.
Mwah.
So first up was the roast. This was a hard one to watch. I have to say,
Ooh.
Kendall going first and doing that well was good for her, because I don't think she did the best in the history of roasts, but she did a good job. She really did do a good job.
For the opener, I mean, she got to assign the spots and she took the bullet, which is either a really great idea or a really bad idea. And I thought she did a pretty good job. I mean, it's obviously not her milieu, and it's just people who do that for a living. We're maybe judging a little more harshly than we otherwise would have. But I thought her jokes were fine. I thought her delivery was not quite as natural as I like to see, but I thought she did a nice job.
Yeah.
She seemed very confident. She seemed very comfortable.
The queen I thought that killed this challenge, Isis Couture.
Oh, Isis.
She had a lot to say. She had a lot to say, and she didn't get to everything and everybody.
No, it sounded like she
was
did
funny.
I think she did like 10% of the jokes that she wrote.
Yeah.
And I understand that feeling when you're up there and it's going well and you want to bask in the glory of it. You're like, before I go, I'd just like to do another 3 hours of material. It's a selfish thing to do as a
Well, when you're bombing, every second is an hour. And when you're killing, every hour is a second. And,
it goes by in a flash. But when it's the roast of Brooklyn Heights and
she didn't get to her.
You don't get to Brooklyn Heights. It's a problem.
It's a fail, right? Kimura, though, I thought started very strongly. She didn't do bad out of the gate. But again, I think she had one note. She started on a high, angry note and stayed there. Yeah, and there was no variation to it. So
yeah, roasts, they're supposed to be mean, but you shouldn't be angry about it. You should just be saying mean things with a delicious smile on your face. And yeah, it just felt like, oh, someone owes Kimura some money.
Yeah.
I thought Adriana did a lot better than she did in her rehearsal.
Way better. She had that stumble out of the gate.
Awkward off
which
the
is
top.
Always death.
The comedy audience doesn't trust you right away. It takes a long time to get their trust back.
And I felt that she got it quite quickly because she just ignored that moment and went back to material, and she didn't have the worst material.
No, I would say Gia.
Oh.
Gia had the worst material.
Gia, the worse she did, the louder her keening and mewing got. And
very strange. Some very strange.
Her first 10 minutes were just about her.
Yeah.
And that's already 10 minutes more than I wanted to hear.
It was mean.
Yeah.
It was mean and with no kernel of fun.
No. Or a general. Or even a captain.
Yeah. Even a sergeant of fun.
A private of fun would have been good. Fun privates?
Fun privates are the best. Pythia did a bit better than she did in the rehearsal as well.
Well, how could she not? How could she not? I mean, she really, she
could have died. She could have thrown up on stage.
She could have killed somebody.
She could have murdered someone.
Yeah, she didn't. None of that happened, so it was a successful...
success. She got in one good dig at Brooklyn's Snatch Game.
Yeah.
Which I'm surprised more people didn't cover. I mean, there was...
Well... Yeah, I don't know.
To work with there.
Again, I still think that a lot of people, when it comes down to writing stuff like that, I think it all goes out the window. I think it becomes very hard to go for the obvious. And the easiness about a roast is going for the obvious.
Yeah, you go for the obvious.
You don't need to reinvent the wheel.
Go for the big stuff, but then also realize everyone is going to go for the big stuff. So the better you know a person, the more you can really dig.
The one thing I hope that none of these queens take with them is how they did and set it as how they are. It's not the case.
No,
that was just you that day. Yeah.
Comedy's hard at the best
If it weren't hard, everyone would do it.
Girl, you got talents. They're just not comedy.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah. And then it was time for the runway.
Category is, let's forget about that roast that just happened.
Yes, no kidding. By distracting you with the most fantastical, mythical costumes we could come up with. The first down the runway was Gia. Now, I have to say, as much as I don't like her personality, she has some great runways, and this was certainly one of them. I'm not even sure what it was, but the face mask application that she had with the rhinestones and everything in that wig,
love the mask. I was confused by the little blibby.
Yeah, I could tell if she was a flower or an amoeba, but...
I didn't know what it was, but it was fun to look at.
So all in all, I'm going to give Gia a Fingerdoo because... She didn't say much while she went down that runway.
Next down the runway was Adriana, serving
Yes.
us some...
I thought she looked like a more colorful version of Sasha Bell's runway in season 7, but she looked good. So I'm going to give her a Fingerdoo as well. It's a webbed Fingerdoo.
She got gills. You need longer wigs.
One of my favorite looks of the night was Isis Couture's, I don't know, every evil queen character from a Disney movie ever. Oh, this was just gorgeous. I thought she looked great. Her makeup was great.
Oh, I love this one.
Yeah.
This one was beautiful.
Yeah. Fingerdoo. There's got to be a point in the day when people are getting ready for the runway where you look over at some of these pieces like, ugh,
oh, no.
I'm not even going out.
And Isis on the runway just, like, she really does look like that. She's in her element. She's having the best time.
Yeah.
She's in the moment. She's listening to what the judges are commenting on and throwing it back at them. She's just a treat.
Yes. Yeah, so here's to Isis. God
Here's to Isis.
bless. She knows how to hit that runway. Your fruit got in the way.
My fruit always gets in the way.
Next down the runway, Kendall Jenner in her, I don't know, monochromatic ode to Grecian urns. I mean, this was fine.
It was fun. I like the intention behind it. The only thing I didn't really enjoy was just the choice of fabric for like the drapey.
Yeah,
the drapiness, like literally anything else would have been better. Like crisp white, lovely gold.
White would have been gorgeous. It would have gone with her wig. It would have highlighted the gold.
I like the wig. I like the contacts. I like the gold. I just thought that fabric was just not the best choice for what was ultimately a fairly simple outfit. I just thought it needed.
Yeah. So I'm going to give Kendall a Fingerdoo for this look because I think there was more right with it than wrong. A Fingerdoo for lack of effort has to go to Kimora Amour. No offense. But this was either an outfit she had when she was actually fat, because she spent a lot of time this episode talking about how big she is. And
she's not that big.
Then how big am I? Yeah. Don't say anything. I'll kill you right here where you sit.
I mean, I've seen bigger. I've also been closer to bigger things.
But the point is, this did not fit her.
No, when she first came out, I was like, oh, gorgeous. And then as soon as I zoomed in, I was like, oh God, no, what's going on? What's going on?
Yeah, because I'm a whore for feathers, wings, any kind of that embellishment. And she had it in spades. But then when we came in close on this outfit, the headdress looked like it was plonked. It wasn't even balanced on her head. The wings were stunning, but the outfit itself, every time she moved her arms and everything, you could see it was baggy. And this is meant to be a nude illusion. And the sad thing about that is it's an easy fix. You can, shore those things up with a quick run up the seam an inch in, and they're fine.
Yeah, the bagginess ruined the nude illusion, and the not being the right color for the rest of her body also kind of ruined the nude illusion.
I felt like she either borrowed this or had been making it for somebody else and decided what she was going to wear it on Drag Race. Also, I'd like to say that sometimes these fabrics look great in a room, but then you get under those lights, and if they've got any kind of pearl finish or satin finish on them, they reflect the light and look way lighter. So I feel like that fabric didn't look matte. It looked a little satiny.
So what you're saying is this would have looked better in the dark room.
In the dark.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I gave Kendall a Fingerdoo, I'm going to give Kimora a Fingerdoo as well, because I like the intention of this. She lost it in the finer points of the details.
You're giving a lot of dues for effort this
know,
week. You felt really badly for how
all right,
bad everyone did.
No, Fingerdoo for both Kendall and Kimora. And if they don't like it, they can call this one.
I'm just saying, you're handing them out like participation trophies in Canada Fitness.
Well, somebody who did more than participate was
probably hands down my favorite reveal ever on Drag Race. I was not expecting that at all.
Because it was beautiful. As she came out in her little Bo Peep, whatever it was, bonnet and big skirted dress, she looked great. I was already Fingerdoo. That's fine. And then she whips off the dress, and she's a centaur. And it was so funny because no one expected it. There was nothing about that dress that said, I've got a horse butt under here. This pink centaur number.
It was too funny.
It was too funny.
It moved in a funny way.
I wish
moved
there
in
was a
funny
way to give her a winning prize just for that, because it was worth it. That'll go down in the history of Drag Race outfits.
I could not stop laughing.
No.
I could not.
No.
I couldn't. Because it was stupid.
Yeah.
But it was gorgeous.
She
And it
could have
was so
taken a
beautifully
big,
done.
wet, stinky poo on that stage during the
yeah.
roast, and this outfit
Would
saved
have
her.
saved it. It was,
Yeah.
it was such
Yeah.
a treat. It was
Yeah.
such an unexpected
Well
treat.
done. Here's the
Yeah.
here's the Padilla.
Here's to Thea. Here's to
Move your fruit.
move your fruit.
My fruit is moved.
Get your fruit off to the side. Does that mean something?
Yeah, you don't know how to place your fruit.
Well, Jorge placed that fruit.
Of course, the judges had to give their 2 cents, and for the most part, as is the way it goes, they agreed with what we were thinking.
Yeah,
Except that for some reason or another, you made a good point. They weren't very much a fan of Adriana's outfit, because she said that it was an ode to Terry Mugler.
Well, the impression that I got was they felt it wasn't so much inspired by, it's just
A copy.
a
They wanted,
recreation.
yeah, like it wasn't showing them who she was. But it's like, well, she's shown you who she is a lot. I mean, for her to wear something down the
showed us a
runway
ton.
that inspires her. I love Terry Mugler. Here, I made myself a Terry
Yeah, look
Mugler
at this
outfit.
gorgeous thing.
Yeah, I mean, it was stunning. There was more work in that than in Kendall's Grecian oopsie, and they seem to have no trouble with Kendall. So.
I had an Grecian oopsie one night in Athens.
Yeah.
That's
Grecian oopsie was also my drag queen name in high school. Back in the Untucked Lounge, though, I don't think anyone was surprised with how things went. But it all got overshadowed with Kimora's sucky attitude. And I'm just going to call it that. I feel like if Kimora had done better in the roast, or had maybe gotten better critiques on the runway, because the judges agreed with us, her outfit didn't fit her and the color was off. She would have not had this turn of attitude.
Well, I also love it that when people try to present it as, oh, well, you know what, I came and I showed them what I wanted to do. I'm like, okay, but
Really?
that wasn't the point of the show. No, I'm happy with what I've done. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, it's embarrassing to not do well on a TV show where a million people are going to be watching it. But
the whole time she was talking, all I could say is, so you're quitting. So you're just going to quit.
So just quit.
You have a 17-year-old child at home, and this is the lesson. You're not just showing the world, you're also teaching your child. Like, it disappointed me. I can't judge her choice for a choice, because it's hers to make.
Because who knows what's going through her head at that
But
moment.
it disappointed me as a viewer of the show, because not only did I think she was doing better than she was thinking she was doing
Well, I think she kind of thought she was going to do better
all the time.
in everything and all the time. And I think my impression that I got was she was kind of surprised that she had not been at the top the entire time.
Right, and that here was another not top
Yeah.
showing, and it was the one showing too many that she couldn't take. It's just a shame. I really was disappointed. I really thought that she was letting like not only her emotions, but just the situation take over.
Yeah, I get it. It's stressful. It's weird. It's awkward. It's not your normal thing.
Yep.
But you knew all that stuff in the first week. If the first week you'd be like, oh, this is really not for me. This is not for me. Then do it then.
Yeah.
Not week 7.
So when the queens returned to the runway, I mean, I was a little surprised that Kendall won, until I remembered that Isis went long, and that was a fail.
Yeah, if Isis hadn't gone long, if she tightened it up, then she would have won.
Because when we do
hands down.
comedy, if we're doing a contest or something, if you go over, you're out.
Well, you're
away.
You're either
So-
out or they just start docking marks.
Yeah,
off
they
of
take
you.
marks off you for every minute you're going long. So
The judges also really seem to enjoy Kendall's roast a lot more than I did.
yeah, I didn't hate it. I have to say I was surprised, because I thought she would go down a Gia route, which would be just incoherent keening and stuff. But
No,
no,
she had some jokes.
she had material. She had points.
Good job.
She moved it along, and so good for her. Here it was after her big breakdown in the Untucked Lounge. There's Kimora on stage with Gia, lip syncing for their lives, and this was just hard to watch. I felt bad for everybody, except Kimora.
I hope she apologized to Gia for that, because it's one thing to have given up in your own mind and tank your own performance, but to try and take down a fellow competitor, it made a little more sense when she was like, I'm dressed up as a bird, so I'm going to be an annoying bird. I'm like, okay, so at least I understand your motivation.
But you're still a human in the world, and you should be able to take social cues.
That's probably one of the most awkward awkward
worst lip
lip
syncs,
syncs I've seen, except for, what's his face, Joey?
Oh, Joe Black,
Joe
just
Black.
standing there.
Yeah.
But she didn't, and it definitely helped cement Gia as being safe because it made it much easier for them to kick Kimura out.
Oh, there was no contest.
No,
there was no contest.
no.
Gia could have just stood there.
And I have to tell you, I was so shocked and disappointed at what Kimura was doing. I couldn't tell you how well Gia did in that lip sync, except that she did not stop. This is the thing that impressed me.
I was very
She
impressed.
didn't let what Kimura was doing affect her. It didn't look like it affected her.
No,
She just did her thing and whatever.
Yeah.
And once she realized that Kimura was just going to be in her face regardless of what she did, she stopped looking at her. And Kimura was the queen to sashay away this week.
Just
What do
like
you
the
think?
time.
Do you think that those two queens deserve to be in the bottom? Do you think that Kimura had a point? Or do you think that she should have just bowed out without the lip sync? Either way, let us know in the comments down below what you did think about this episode. And while you're down there, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and to subscribe to my channel if you haven't. And don't forget, you can make donations to the Rainbow Railroad. You can help Michael Bergantino out with his medical bills. I don't often ask for help for others because I'm so in need myself. I need to be selfish, yeah. But I would appreciate if you want to make a tip or do, please know that my tips for this month will go to Michael as well. You can also get Wilma merch at my Redbubble shop. You can also join me on Patreon, where we do 2 live chats a month. And there's my weekly watches, which are only viewable on my Patreon channel. And until next week, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me, Wilma.
Miss us! Mwah! We've seen a lot of winners on Drag Race.
When Benda Creme quit us, I was so disappointed.
Yeah. But I also would rather see people not submit themselves if they think they will quit.
Well, I think it's you don't know what you're getting into. Like, you
Yeah.
don't have any control over what's happening. The production is doing things for TV reasons. They forget that they're making a TV show. You're not.
This isn't about who wins or loses.
It's
This
a
is
TV
about
show.
how entertaining was this season. Would you just up and quit, or would you?
No. I would run it through to the.
Or would you
to the
sabotage
painful-
yourself so that you would be the clear, obvious loser for the next one?
I'm never a clear, obvious loser. The only thing I am very conscious of is when things are going badly.
Yeah.
I'm always like, oh, I could make this worse. Like, I
Oh.
could. If I say something stupid right now, I'm gonna
Make
I'm
it
gonna
even
make it
worse.
worse.
Yeah. Well, that in of itself says volumes.
Yeah.